For the fans back at home, there's a great shot of just at the entrance of turn one, looking back towards the left across the front of the grandstands, and that inflatable arch you see on the left side of the screen. That is the Optima Batteries entry from staging. And just out of sight, there's a couple of Pro 2s. We've got a couple of Pro Lights. And the Pro Buggies all in staging, getting ready to make their final start of the weekend.
All right, we're back up here, and we got special guest Man Sorensen and the crew. It's like so cool to see you back here. I know your roots are in short course, you know, trophy cart kid originally, and now you've moved up in the big world, and seeing you being a superstar out there.
Yeah, this is crazy because this is like where I originated in the Lucas Oil series actually, and I was doing mod karts, but now I do Formula Drift, and I also race Mint 400 and do Best in the Desert stuff.
Well, definitely, I'm sure your heart's still here, and seeing it probably brings out a lot of memories, seeing the kids around here. And then Cameron's racing now, so that
so my 10-year-old brother is out there ripping. That's super cool to see.
I heard that's, was it Chance Haugen's old cart? That's what I heard, or something? Something like that, yeah, one of our other drivers. So, what happened to all your carts? They passed on to somebody else?
Yeah, we sold my cart to Mad Mike, so we actually shipped it over to Europe for him.
Okay, that's cool. Get a little trophy carts going over in Europe now. We're going to get an international continental series going on. so you've been doing the drifting, doing all that, bringing a little attention. Do you ever talk about your stuff and you started in off-road?
Yeah, so I actually just got a 6100 truck, and I raced Mint 400 this last one. I was doing pretty good. I qualified 12th overall, so that was pretty good. And then I went out, did the 200 miles, and then I swapped out, and my brother got in the car, and we ran into some issues. The transmission broke, same with the diff. So.
Well, I know I saw you guys out at King of the Hammers there, and.
Oh yeah, we also ran King of Hammers, but actually that was fun too because Jack's Redline came out, and he was like, "Hey, let me hop in the truck with you," and I was like, "Okay, you can co-drive," and then he was like, "Actually, like, are you sure you don't want me to drive?" I was like, "All right, I'll let you drive one lap, and then I'll switch." So he got in the driver's seat. I co-drove. I learned all 35 of his notes, like all of the symbols overnight, so that was super cool. And then I got to co-drive with him. And unfortunately, we only made it 30 miles in, and our trans blew.
Well, that race ate up a lot of spec trucks and trophy trucks too. What was it? Cameron Steele made it a mile? Yeah. So a lot of things happened, but that was very cool to see. And I saw you guys. We were camping just over on the other side from you. Saw Jackson, your brother, and they were all building bicycle jumps and having fun.
It was funny because I think Brandon actually had more fun playing with the RC rock crawler more than he did actually being there.
Well, very cool. So you're now out here. We were hanging out in Long Beach, down the Long Beach Grand Prix, right?
Yeah, so we were just out at Formula Drift last weekend doing the Formula Drift round, and then this weekend was the Long Beach Grand Prix, and we basically go put on a halftime show. It's called Super Drift. So we go out with the Indy cars on the IndyCar track and Robbie Gordon's Super Stadium truck stuff, and go out there and just kind of put on an exhibition and a demo for everyone to kind of get a feel of drifting. It's like a legit competition. Brandon actually got second place this weekend, so that was super awesome for our team.
Sweet. They're out doing the Indy cars, the SSTs.
Yeah.
Little Max Gordon out there spinning them around.
Max and Robbie were doing so awesome. It was so awesome to see. Like, Max actually won this weekend, so that was his first podium in Super Stadium truck. And then
So Dad got second, and I think Robert Stout got third. Is what I saw. Yeah. I have a good friend, Ralph Sheen's down there with Ken announcing that. So
Sweet.
I'm up here doing the off-road stuff, and it's kind of cool. They're asking me what's going on. I'm telling them. I'm asking them what's going on. So it's kind of keeping up to date with going on with our racing world and racing family.
Yeah,
so
super
very
fun.
cool.
It's cool to bounce back and forth between like the drifting stuff, then the off-road stuff, and then coming to the short course stuff. Like I was literally double duty this weekend, actually triple duty, because I went down to Hoonigan and filmed some. But then with my drift car, then I went down to Super Drift and watched Brandon drive. Then I'm here watching Cameron race. So.
Yeah, it was like with the Super 8 or something they did last night, or something. There was 8 cars, something special they did.
Yeah, it's called Super Drift.
Super Drift.
Yeah, with Formula D, we just kind of go put on a demo, and it's a competition. The fun part about it, though, is there's no qualifying, so it's a random bracket.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they picked it. Well, real quick, let's talk about who's out there real quick. George Allen will be out in the back in the 6th position in the 27. Mark Zimmerman in the 88. Lorenzo Bonacci in the 33. Gunnar Kennedy will be in the 82. And then you got the monkey, Matt Brister, and Zach Drabkin. So have you ever had a chance to drive one of these buggies?
No, I actually haven't.
You haven't? Totally
Believe it or
different
not,
animal.
I've driven a lot of things, but I haven't driven a buggy.
Well, I mean...
Actually, I could say kind of, I mean, I drove the Tatum sandrail that we have, and I whip that around all the time, but I don't think it's as similar to the buggies, just considering it's not the one seat in the middle, you know?
And then you got a cutting brake in this one, too, which they don't use as often as they
Well, we
used
have
to.
the turning brakes in the sand truck.
I was going to say, you got a turning brake there, so that should be familiar.
Yeah.
So, a little bit. So, not much different on there. They don't really turn if you don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, okay, turn the wheel, and it just keeps going straight, so you got to kind of help it along. Well, very cool. So, it looks like we're going green flag racing right now. Red line car of Zach Drabkin out front with Brister right next to him. I'm sure you remember a few of these drivers when you were racing. They were part of the old Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series.
Yeah, I actually think Zachary used to race with me in mod cars.
Yep, he did.
I don't know about anyone else.
Lorenzo Bonacci raced mods, but he was a little after you, a little younger.
Got it. So, like, what's the age like in this group?
Well, I think probably 19, 17, 18 on up to
Okay.
Zimmerman, probably. I'm not going to say how old he is.
Got it. Okay.
He might yell at me as he gets on the podium. It's all about how old I was. But once again, folks, just tuning in home, we got Vanna Sorensen up here in the booth with us, talking a little bit of what she's doing, how short course has kind of opened the doors for her. As we watch the action, Brister goes in the lead with Drabkin on there. And it's great how a lot of this racing is racing when it comes down to it for competition. And you can see how she's translated well into the drift side of it there, so that's kind of cool. But you got U.S. Air Force on the side of your car.
Yeah,
how cool is that?
That's super awesome. I'm super stoked to be with the Air Force this year. That was super awesome, too, because, like, it would only make sense. My demographic is kind of their target audience, right? And especially in drifting. Drifting is actually the #1 millennial motorsport. So we have a lot of kids that come out, and it's that 18 to 34-year-old range of
Get them to
males.
sign up. Hey, you want to go fast, you can go fast in one of their F-16s, right?
Yeah, Brent and I are under promotion, so I'm
Very
super
cool.
excited for that. But it's cool because there's a lot of stuff that actually translates over from being a driver to the Air Force. So, like, working on jets and working on the cars, just understanding mechanics and engineering, there's a lot of that in the background.
Well, talk about the discipline that these drivers have to go through, too. You know, the training. Because these guys are working their arms, their legs, their whole body.
Yes, exactly.
You know, you got to be in shape.
Yeah, when you get out there and you're, like, in the heat, especially this hot California heat, and no water in between, like, you're just out there going. It's a long endurance.
Well, that's something you say. Aren't you from Vegas?
Yeah, try and get out there.
Little heat. Well, the action on the track right now is heating up there as Drabkin goes back in the lead, getting by Brister. But talk about the mental focus you have to be, you know, race car, what you translate into what you do or what somebody in the Air Force or military does too.
There's a lot of mental discipline that comes into this, especially when it comes down to learning how to control adrenaline, right? When you're behind the wheel, there's a lot of adrenaline going through you, and paying attention to the drivers around you. It's all about making a plan and focusing really on where you're going and what's your next move. And one thing that was huge for me was in drifting, we have little to no we have one shot to go and put down our best qualifying run, and then if you don't qualify, you make one mistake in qualifying, you're done for the weekend. So it's super important to learn how to control those emotions before you go out on track.
Well, Well, and I think that translates from off-road like we're doing right here. If you don't qualify well, you're not up in the front, you got a lot of talent up there, it's hard to move through gauntlet drivers.
Yeah, exactly. You're picking off one by one at that point.
Or not succumb to the pressure. Like right now, Brister turning up the pressure on Zach Drapkin as they come around that turn. You got to stay calm. You got to be able to keep yourself collected. You know, and I think that translates too.
Yes. Definitely.
So you itching to see do a little short course after being back, seeing a little bit of it?
Oh, definitely. I actually have a Pro 2 build on the way, so.
Oh.
Step back in for a few races.
Do a little bit, come here, check it out, do maybe a little, maybe go back and see Champ.
Exactly, yeah.
Nice, little fall Crandon.
Yep, I definitely want to put Crandon on my schedule. That's a huge goal.
I think that's everybody's bucket list when it comes to it there.
Yeah, I would agree.
Never got to race there. I've raced a lot of places, a lot of different sports, but I never got to do Crandon. I'm kind of bummed. I've been on a track ride right there, but never got to race there.
I think it's just so awesome how they have that huge start that's like so different than
The land rush.
Exactly. Yep. The land rush start is so exciting.
Well, real quick, Lorenzo Bonacci running third as he comes by. We saw a great shot. Nice overhead shot there as we're watching Zach Drapkin in front of Matt Brister. Lorenzo Bonacci back there, the Bomber Eyewear car. In that third position, Gunnar Kennedy and Mark Zimmerman. Then we got George Allen out there also. Maybe we'll have to get a couple on the Thunderbirds. You can go take them up and go fly with them. We'll take them out, put them in a drift car, then take them in your spec truck, and then bring them out here and throw them in an off-road Pro 2, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of all the same thing. It's that large adrenaline rush going through your body, pulling the G's. I mean, when Brandon and I go on the Thunderbirds, we're going to have to put on G-Suits.
Yep.
That's just like insane.
Didn't go with the Thunderbirds, but I did fly with another branch of military, the Blue Angels, and their F-18s. And I can imagine an F-16 too. Those things are fast as heck.
Crazy.
And the Blue Angels pretty much blew me away, so I can imagine Thunderbirds. They're all disciplined. And those are all maneuvers that they're taught in combat. So this is not anything special they do when they do it. Well, the comp cautions come out. Drapkin out front as we look at Bonacci, Lorenzo right there, the Bomber Eyewear. The American flag and occupant batteries flying under a pace vehicle at this time. As Brister now leads him around. It's funny how fast things change like that. And drift is that, I mean, you can be out front and the next guy has a good run.
So actually, drifting is different because it's a judge-based sport.
Yep.
We go out when you have a lead run, and you put down your lead run, then you have a follow run. So basically what you're doing is you're working your way up the bracket. You go out for your qualifying, you put down a solid run. There's clipping points outside, clipping points inside, clipping points. You have your three judges, line, angle, and style. So the difference of this is this is really a race to the finish line, right? To whereas in drifting, it's all about being fluid. It's about being commitment, hitting every single clipping point.
A little bit of an art.
Exactly, it's more of an art. And so then you have your judges, and then from there you go into the tandem battles. Tandem is lead run, follow run, and then you swap. You do just like racing in desert and racing the short course, driving blind and learning the muscle memory behind it, right? So I'm going to drive right up on someone's door in the follow run, and I'm driving their tire smoke. My eyes are focused on their front tire so I can see their next move. That's very relatable to this.
But you don't have a spotter in drift.
You do have a spotter, and they're the person taking notes on how the other person drives. They say this person has a e-brake initiation, this person's fast, this person's slow. Make sure you adapt to this kind of driving.
You're only an inch away, back off.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Green flag is up again. Matt Brister with a great start there. Zach Drapkin, Lorenzo Bonacci, and Gunnar Kennedy. Mark Zimmerman, George Allen. So they got drones flying around you guys like they do here now?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
definitely. We do a live stream. We actually have a TV show, too, that we're doing. So they air us live on TV, which is awesome. One time I actually had a drone flight into my car while I was drifting, in my passenger window and out my driver window. It was the sickest shot I've ever seen.
Swatting at the flies, it goes by.
Exactly.
Well, awesome to hear that. But look at this. Oh, no. Drapkin, he's got a battle for second going on. Bonacci trying to hang him on the outside. And Drapkin goes to the infield. Bonacci goes up into second. And Gunnar Kennedy up into third now. So Dropkin all the way from first back to fourth. Brister just stretching that lead out. So what's it like when you had somebody on your butt in short course versus getting that stretch lead? It's like, I can sit back and relax.
Exactly, yeah. I think then at that point you realize you have to pace yourself and drive. You're not going to drive over your limits.
That's easy to do when you're by yourself, right? Not out front when you're not dicing with somebody. It's like, how do I set the pace? Nobody's pushing me.
One thing I always loved when I was racing short course, 2016 when I was racing UTVs, I was always able to have my spotter and I say, okay, you got a 4-car length gap on him, ease up a little bit, hold the in the end, basically.
Save the car. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, Brister out front still, and look at this. Bonacci hold on second. Dropkin moves into third. Kennedy slides back to fourth with 3 laps remaining here. Now, drifting versus short course, and you're out there, you got a comp caution in between. Drifting, you're out for a certain amount of turns or time.
Yeah, we have usually around anywhere from 4 to 6 turns, I would say, in one run. And there's smaller courses, so like we run Irwindale, which is like a huge bank. We'll hit the whole big bank, come in an inside flip, and then hit the smaller bank. But the fun thing about drifting is we literally have to change tires every 2 laps. So between Brandon and I, we go through an average of 80 tires a weekend.
That is insane. Well, these guys, they're allowed, I mean, during the series, they're allowed a limited amount of tires, so you got to save your tires. So it's a different concept or thought process.
They're actually at this point now to where they're like, okay, 12 laps max for practice. So on these tracks that I don't get to drive all year, just for example, Long Beach, right? Long Beach is only set up for the Grand Prix. I don't get to go practice that. But when I do get there, they say 12 laps max because we want to make sure we save enough tires. Yep. Then you go into your qualifying run. It's like I go out there and put in 12 laps of practice at most if I get that, and then I go out and I put down my best song.
That's awesome. Well, this one's coming real close to an end because I see that white flag in hand. It will come out. BDR is going to go throw it for that fast monkey out on the track. Matt Brister, as he said, his 12-year anniversary of that car, the Funko car there, as he received the white flag. Bonacci and Dropkin getting chased by the drone as they battle for second. Brister just putting the hammer down. Now this is our moment. You're like, okay, the white flag's out. I got a half a lap to go. I'm out front. I got a good lead. Don't panic. You're looking for a little, I can see you intensely studying the lines there of Dropkin and Bonacci.
They go for the inside, outside,
out of the way. Well, the checkered flag's going to come out. Fast monkey performance there. Roush Power takes him. Matt Brister. How about that? Lorenzo Bonacci in the bomber eyewear and the red line oil. Zach Dropkin, followed by Gunnar Kennedy, Zimmerman, and looks like it's going to be Allen. Well, man, it's very cool to have you up here, and I'm so excited to see that you've kept the motorsports going, still running the dirt, running the desert, doing the drifting.
Yep, all of it.
Air Force, going to see you in a Pro 2 eventually.
Yep.
Man, keep it coming.
Planes and cars, that's my thing.
Well, I'll connect you on your social media and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, my Instagram is Amanda.Sorensen12, and the YouTube is Amanda Sorensen.
Well, right on. Well, I'm going to have to head down and talk to him, and I'm going to pass it off to Scott. If you want to hang out with him a little bit, I don't know if Cameron's around or Brandon's coming up.
Yeah, I actually think Brandon's going to join us here in a second.
All right, well, I'll talk with Scott a little bit. I'm going to head down and talk to some of these drivers, find out about this crazy race.
Sweet.
Thanks. Good job.
showed me on lap 1 that the top of that corner just isn't holding.
No, I go in there and I'm like, oh, speedway.
No, I followed you once and I'm like, oh, this is just the worst.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. It was fun. That was a battle. Thanks for cutting that corner. I used it.
Well, here we are on the box here. We got Zach Drapkin, Lorenzo Bonacci, and Matt Brister, but I'm going to kick it off because I got a whole bunch of cool stuff. Zach, let's go do some snowboarding up at Mountain High. Got you an 8-hour pass there, VIP line and all that good stuff. $100 from K&N. No, that's for him. I saw you eyeballing it. So talk about this race. We saw you out front. You had that early lead there. You and Brister were battling there, and then something went a little wonky, and then saw you and Lorenzo. Lorenzo gets by you. Then you had to fight with him.
Yeah, that whole race was a battle. I knew with Matt behind me, it was going to be one. I chased him all day yesterday, so I had to give it a little bit back to him. But he got me on the mid race, and I was tempted to follow him the whole entire time. The second half, and then I got passed again. But we battled. We're trying. Unfortunately, Matt just pulled too many car lengths that if even we made the pass, it wasn't going to happen. So he earned this one fair and square. So we'll get him in the next one.
Well, I know you got some people to thank for this.
Oh, yeah, I definitely got to thank everybody that supports me. Big O Tires, Tempe in Arizona. Adam Grinder, he's always backing me with tires. We're going to have a fresh set for next year, next race. Redline Oil, Winter Motorsports, Skydive Elsinore, oh, Jesus, who's on my shirt? Jared, Competitive Edge for rebuilding my motor. We got a bullet going, and hopefully we'll have a bigger one for the next one. I'm forgetting everybody. I'm all over the place. Sign Pros, Competitive Edge, already said him. I need to be back in iRacing. I'm better on that.
There he is, Zach Drapkin, everybody. Third place. They're going to move it over there. So make sure they have their podium hats on. They got to rep those sponsors right there. Lorenzo Bonacci. I think you should join us and go snowboarding or skiing up at Mountain High. You got an 8-hour pass, courtesy of Mountain High. And a $100 gift card from K&N. Make that Pro Buggy breathe a little bit better. So let's talk a little bit about this race because it was a battle.
Oh, yeah, just the first half of the race, I was just trying to stick with Matt and Zach. I know I can, but I was playing it safe to the point where if there's a mistake made, I can capitalize on it. And luckily on the restart, I was able to. I saw my moment and I took it, and I didn't look back any bit after that.
Well, it definitely worked out. Congratulations. You're on the box. Good run for the points for the season. I know you got people to thank.
I want to thank my mom, my dad, my sister, my aunt and uncle, obviously for helping me and supporting me out here. My friend Calvin Willis for taking pictures. I want to thank Bomber Eyewear, Pole Position in Corona, Electric Go-Kart Track, Buck Signs, Off-Road Warehouse, BF Goodrich, and OMF Race Wheels.
Lorenzo Bonacci.
And one more, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, God, for keeping us safe on the track and, giving us the strength to do this racing and having fun.
There he is, Lorenzo Bonacci, everybody, second place. Well, Matt, you get the trifecta here. You get the gift card from K&N. You get $100 from Off-Road Warehouse, and Mountain High hooked you up with some ski passes. We can make it like a trip and all of us go up there. We'll go shred this winter. So, Matt, what a battle you had with Zach on the first of the race, and then it really got interesting.
Yeah, with Briscoe and Gibbs moving on to different classes and moving on to different things, we we're in the back of our mind thinking we were going to be sleeping on this year and just walk with it. And, I think everybody who raced today and everybody who raced yesterday is going to prove that at the end of the year it's going to be a split between all 6 of us. So it's going to be a good one to watch, and I can't wait to continue these battles. Zach is a heck of a driver. I think he's picking something up in this iRacing thing, and I think there's value there. I might have to meet him on the virtual track sometime. All of my competitors, awesome people. I can race them all clean, not scared of getting doored, not scared of breaking parts. We're all out here racing for all of the contingency money, but at the end of the day, we're all buddies, and we go and have a beer after this stuff. So all of the fans and all of the teams for coming out. This series has definitely turned into another home for me, and that was a long off season, and it got kind of lonely. So I'm glad everybody's back. My sponsors, they're amazing people, and I know every one of them by the first name. I got to thank Roush, King Shocks, Rancho Performance Trans Axles, Funco Motorsports, Fast Monkey Performance Engineering. My mom and dad let me do this stuff, and I can't thank them enough for it. Lothringer Engineering, he takes the car down to chassis every time we get to come out, so it's always perfect for me, and I can't wait to do more of it. Parker Pumper as well. At the beginning of the year, we tested. All of my gear got stolen. I called them up, and they said, don't worry, we know what you have, and we have all your specs. And I showed up to this race with a whole new suit, new helmet, and they really had my back on that. And yeah, just, my beautiful girlfriend as well for coming out. She runs my social media. She psyched these tires that were the race-winning tires, so she's probably going to go home with a set. And I got to thank everybody else. Thank you, guys.
There he is, the monkey himself, Matt Brister. Great job. But again, Zach Drapkin, Lorenzo Bonacci, and Mr. Monkey himself, Matt Brister, on top of the box. Speaking of boxes, where's my Scotty in a box?
Dave, you're a funny guy. There's no doubt about that. We got one race remaining, everybody, both for the fans at home and for the ones that are here in the stands. One race. 3 classes will be involved in this race, and it's going to really kind of change things up for not only everybody on the track, but especially the Pro 2 guys that are oftentimes, twice as fast as the Mini Open and the Pro Lights will be coming out racing with them. So we did this yesterday, and it was crazy successful, and I want to do it again today. I've got a spotters radio for Ricky Gutierrez and their team, and got some things that changed up from yesterday for their truck setup, and I'd like to talk to Ricky about that. I'm going to hang on tight until I know that the spotter's done talking to him back in the pits. So let's see if I can hook up with Ricky Gutierrez right now.